Hey guys, Ben from Snowboard Gamer. Welcome to episode 29 of This Week in Board Games. In this weekly segment, I do quick reviews on all the games we played the last week, go over any interesting board game news, and show any new purchases. For this week's video, I'm just going to do the first one. I'm just going to go through all the games we played. As you can see, I'm not at home. I'm in a hotel room. I've actually got to leave in about 30 minutes to catch a flight. We played 4 games this week. I was still able to get a little bit of gaming in while I was out of town on a business trip. I packed this one with me, and the first game we played is Custom Heroes. I played this with some of my coworkers down in the lobby at the bar. They really enjoyed it. This is a great game to introduce to non-gamers. Custom Heroes is a trick-taking game, kind of like Spades or Hearts. It's for 2 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, and plays in about 45 minutes. The cool thing about this game is that you can modify the cards. So each card comes sleeved, and then throughout the course of the game, you get these little plastic inserts that you slide into the cards, and it can +4, -2, do 1 as a wild. And so by the end of the game, your deck is totally customized, which I'm guessing is why they call it Custom Heroes. This game is a lot of fun. It's fairly well balanced because whoever's in last place actually gets rewarded more than first place. In order to win the game, you have to have 10 points to start the round and then win a trick. So if you're up to 10 points, everyone's going to be targeting you to not let you win. And almost every game I've played by the last round, just about everyone is in it to win it. I highly recommend Custom Heroes as a trick-taking game. We've been playing this one a lot lately. Now that is the only game that I actually have with me because the other 3 games I played at the Uncommons in Lower Manhattan. We went there last night after work and just had a blast. In New York City for a business trip, and we're going to the Uncommons board game cafe here. We'll go check it out. They have a bunch of games, coffee, drinks. Should be fun. The first game we pulled out is Odin's Ravens. Odin's Ravens is a 2-player only game for ages 10 and up and plays in 15 to 30 minutes. This was recommended by the staff there. In Odin's Ravens, each person has this wooden raven, and then you line up a row of 16 cards, and each card has 2 terrain types on it, like mountains and fields, for example. And then throughout the game, each player has 2 decks of cards. One that has terrain types. You want to fly your raven all the way down and then back on the other side. In order to fly it, you have to play a terrain card that matches what's in front of the raven. But here's the catch. The second deck has these low-key cards which help you do modifications. Flip the cards around, swap 2 cards, even get rid of a card potentially. It was really fun. We enjoyed it, and there was a surprising amount of thinking for that game considering it's just playing cards and moving ravens. Because you're trying to line your cards up to get a great run for your raven to try and potentially fly down 3 or 4 cards in one turn. But you're trying to make sure that in doing so, you don't line your opponent up for a good move also. Really enjoyed it. We're always looking for good 2-player games, and this was a good one. The next game we played was Jaipur. Yes, that's how you say it. I wasn't sure how to say it, so I actually looked it up because if you say Jaipur, it kind of sounds like taper. I'm like, no, it's not that. If you say Jaipur, it kind of sounds like diaper. So I looked it up. The official pronunciation is Jaipur. Jaipur is a city in India. It's an Indian-themed game. Jaipur is 2 players, ages 12 and up, and plays in 30 minutes. This is another 2-player game. I actually own it at home. I just haven't opened it up yet, and we saw it at the board game cafe and figured we'd try it out. It was pretty easy to learn. If there's a market of 5 cards out there, you can either exchange cards in the market, or you can just take 1 card from the market. Or there are these camels in the market which you can take and then use the camels to trade in for cards later. But there's a bonus whoever has the most camels, so there's this push and pull throughout the entire game of do you use your camels to help trade in? You're trying to get multiples of the same cards so you can then sell them. That's the other action you can take. You sell your cards and then you get gold from the market for selling them. You're trying to get the most points at the end of the day. And every game we played was super close. We played 3 games that night. We liked it so much. Really recommend Jaipur as a 2-player game. I would say between Jaipur and Odin's Ravens, I liked Jaipur better. They're both good, but Jaipur has that immediately come back for it. After we finished Odin's Ravens, we're like, oh, that was fun. Let's try a different game. after we finished Jaipur, we're like, all right, let's play it again. The last game we played is Sheriff of Nottingham. Sheriff of Nottingham is for 3 to 5 players, ages 13 and up, and plays in about 60 minutes. In Sheriff of Nottingham, each person takes turns being the sheriff, while the other players are trying to sneak goods into Nottingham. Or maybe not. Maybe they're not sneaking goods in. There are 4 standard goods: cheese, apples, bread, and chicken. Throughout the course of the game, you can trade some cards in. There's an open market so you can see if someone trades in and takes certain types of cards. The catch is that there are these red cards that are called contraband, and you can try and sneak them in your bag. Or you can just put whatever in your bag, but when you declare it to the sheriff, you have to declare 1 good and a certain number of cards. So you could say 4 apples, and you hand your bag to the sheriff. Here's my favorite part about this game. The rules say you have to actually look the sheriff in the eye and declare your goods. That adds an extra element to the game because you're trying to read people to find out whether they're lying or not. So if I hand the sheriff and say 4 apples, it could be 4 apples in that bag, or it could be 4 contraband, or it could be 2 apples, a cheese, and a bread. Maybe I'm sneaking some other ones in because I'm trying to get the end game bonus for having the most cheese or the most bread. The sheriff has to decide, am I going to inspect you or not? You can also bribe the sheriff and say, oh, sheriff, you know, I may have accidentally forgotten to take that contraband out of my bag, so why don't I just give you 5 coins to not inspect me? The sheriff agrees to it, you bribe the sheriff, done, he doesn't inspect your bag. If you choose to open your bag, though, and you're telling the truth, it really was 4 apples, the sheriff has to pay you. But if he busts you with some contraband, you gotta pay the sheriff for the contraband, and you lose the contraband. So it's a classic bluffing game, and a lot of fun. Now, how did we play it at the Board Game Cafe? They had these tables. We were seated next to another couple there, because it's very tight on space in Manhattan. And so we shared a table with this couple. We played a 2-player game, and then when we were done, we asked them if they wanted to play with us. So we taught them Sheriff of Nottingham, and we all played together. It was a lot of fun. We met some friends here at the Uncommons. Here we're playing Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah, you about to clean up?
We shall see.
Who's gonna win this bet?
We've got a bet going.
Andrew's
here.
got it. Andrew's got it, man.
No, I don't want to work out.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't want to work out.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have a high metabolism. I don't need to.
All right, we'll see. So if you're ever in New York City, go check out the Uncommons. It's in Lower Manhattan. Great little board game cafe. That's it for this week in board games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe for more board game videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye.